Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. We've got a couple hours this morning before I got to go pick the kids up from summer camp, and it's a hot morning. It's been, man, it's I don't know if we got below 75 last night, which for up here is ridiculous. Supposed to push 90 today. It's the second really muggy day in a row. The fish are pretty much completing the post-spawn process, starting to move out onto the main river channel. So we're gonna get out, try a few spots, see if we can find a few fish, have a little bit of fun this morning, and see what we can catch. So we're gonna start off with a new jig for me. This is the Picasso Wart Head football jig. As you can see, it's got all those bumps on the bottom of it. And I've been recommended to try this jig by multiple people because a lot of people know how much I really love to fish jigs. And from that standpoint, I really like football jigs as well. So we're gonna give this guy a try. And I'm curious to see how it works. Now in this case, I'm just rigging up. It's a 1/2 ounce size. And I'm gonna pair it up with a little contrasting color. So generally, you know, a lot of people like to go like green on green if you're throwing a green pumpkin jig like that. I'm going to put a black and blue pit boss on. I love doing that. And the other thing I'm going to do is trim the skirt just a little bit. You know, I am fishing probably 90% smallmouth here. And from that standpoint, my expectations are that that's what I'm going to be dealing with. So I want something that's a little bit more compact. Just gives the fish less to kind of grab and swim away with, because we know that that is what smallmouth love to do. Slide him up. There's our jig. Let's see how the Wart Head works. See, this is a prime example of why you shorten your skirt. In this case, I actually have this fish hooked just outside of the mouth, which means he picked up the tails and started swimming off with it. You know, it's a 14-inch fish. You have too many tentacles hanging out. Them smallmouth love to just pick them up and, you know, swim off with it, play around with it. So if you can compact that bait, you end up generally catching more of them. Oh, that was another bite. That's a better one. Well, maybe not. Chunky, a tad shorter, a little chunkier. They are chunky. Nice little fish. Apparently, the smallmouth like the Wart Head. This could be a fun day. Ooh. Chunky. Not giants, but this is fun. Well, pretty typical smallmouth deal right here on a river. So what I'm fishing is just a little current seam. I'm only fishing a couple foot of water, but we got the main channel comes like this, and there's a current seam that gets deflected off the bank a little bit. You can actually see, like, up shallower is just sand and there's some grass. I don't know if you guys can see it up there, but then it turns into a rock vein and they're just sitting right on that edge. I mean, we've caught 4, not giants, you know, I don't know, 13 to 15 inchers. And you know, generally with a smallmouth, when you find them, you can catch more than one, especially in a spot like that. And in this case, oh, I just had one pick it up and start swimming off with it. He took me out of a little rock. See if he'll come back for it. But yeah, generally you'll get a little cluster of fish, and in this case, that's what we found here. Ideally, you find the ones where it's, you know, those 4-pounders all grouped up. Not always going to happen, but you know, I can't complain. We've been out for maybe 10 minutes and caught 4 and just missed another one. So I know there's more here, but generally these types of spots where you get a current seam, the fish will just gravitate to them. And a lot of times a bottom bait is going to be one of your best presentations, just because those fish, if they're sitting still in the current or just out of the current, they're still going to want to be sitting just up or just on the bottom out of the current. So he got one of my legs of my pit boss, so we're going to change that. You can see, you know, so I'm fishing heavy duty. I got to change my line too. I'm fishing river rock, so it's really jagged, and this thing is doing a great job coming over it so far. These little warts, as they call them, really act as deflection points, and you can see, you know, I am losing a little bit of paint, but that's to be expected. And what that tells me is the key points, you know, it's hitting here and here and here. It really is moving side to side. So let's put a new pit boss on, see if we can catch one more from here. That's a good one. I thought you were bigger than that. Best one of the day. Still not a giant. Feels good. Not a giant, but a little better. Whew. Easy release. All right, so you can see my line really frayed right there. That's one issue anytime you're fishing a lot of river rock, you know, really jagged rock. Just something you got to deal with. You got to make sure you check your line routinely and retie often. But that gives us a little bit of time to talk about the Wart Head, because right now I'm really digging it. The one thing that's really standing out to me is how good a bottom contact I'm feeling. And it just feels like, you know, with a normal football jig, you have one point in contact, wherever that is on the jig. You know, because it's a smooth, flat jig. In this case, you've got all your little warts, and those are points of contact, so they really help grab the bottom. But more than anything, they're really transferring the feel of the bottom very, very well to me. I wasn't really expecting that. So what they say, the Wart Head is for really is, you know, when you rest it even on a flat surface, it always wants to roll. And they've got videos I've seen of this. That was one of the selling points on it for me, was when I saw it, like just coming across a cement floor, it actually would rock because it gets up on that center wart right there. And that's what just makes it want to like rotate. But in this case, you can see how all the points of contact are the rub marks here. And honestly, I'm surprised that it has not worn down more, just based on how abrasive the rock is that I'm fishing. So been really good so far. You know, the other cool thing with the jig is it does have a recessed perpendicular line tie. This is a 5/0 hook, Gamakatsu flat eye hook as they call it. Just working really well so far. I mean, in the half hour I've been throwing it, I cannot complain. So let's catch another. This is a secondary channel right here that comes down. Current wraps back to the main Trivial river just around this island. And then I'm sitting here right on the edge of the current seam. So I'm in the slack water and I'm using forward facing definitely to kind of help position the boat. Not seeing the fish based on the current, but I'm sitting right here, slack water. You can see the sand. I got a bunch of bait under the boat right now. And there's big balls of bait that you'll see in the slack water area. And then this turns into rock right here. So this is like the current edge is going to be right where the rock is. So it washes the rock clean. Sand here, which is where the you know, the silt gets deposited. You can see all the bait now that just came into the circle or into the area. So this whole slack water edge is going to be filled with bait. Just the key kind of strike zone. So I'm using forward facing to help me pinpoint where I should be casting in terms of the current seam and to see if there's bait around. But when you have this type of current, the fish are going to be stuck to the bottom, so I'm not seeing the fish at all, but I'm really using it to make sure I'm on the edge, which is where I want to be fishing. And the Wart Head does such a good job because I'm feeling the rock right now. And then as soon as I come through that rock, I'll hit that silt, or that sand, I guess is what it is probably. And then, you know, if I don't get bit in the next couple of drags from there, I reel up, make another cast. And generally speaking, your bites are going to be on that edge, which is where you see all that bait hanging out. Eating it good. Where's Big Mama? All the same size. All right where they should be, right on the current breaks. Little chunks. Not a bad one. Getting bigger today. Beauty, river smallmouth. On the old warthog. So just to go over the gear that I'm using. So I've got this 15-pound 100% fluorocarbon, the Berkeley Trilane 100%, and I'm fishing it on a 7.3 medium heavy fast action rod. You want a fast action rod in this case because when you get bit a long ways out or with this current, you have a lot of slack line potential when you go to hook set. So if you can, you know, be able to drive that hook home a little bit better, a little faster, you'll have much better luck than with a moderate speed rod. Well, we just wrapped up a fun day on the water. It is hot out and it is windy. Hopefully the audio I got from today is pretty decent, usable. Overall, really impressed with the Picasso Wart Head football jig. This thing is held up great. I did not lose one, only got snagged a couple of times, which is ridiculous because of the river rock that I'm fishing. It's so jagged and chunky that you just get stuck with everything. And one cool thing to note too is the paint on this only chipped on the warts. And that keeps it like the rest of the head protected. So I don't expect to have the rest of the paint chip on this, which is different than a traditional football jig where you will have, like, once you start a chip or get a paint chip, it seems like the whole head just ends up coming right off. So that's a little different, but I definitely enjoyed the feel of this. I felt like I was getting more sensitivity. I was understanding what the bottom was doing. I felt like I was not getting snagged nearly as much. Overall, really impressed with this jig. So I'll put the link in the video description for you. If you guys want to pick up a couple as well, support the channel by using my Tackle Warehouse link. That is very much appreciated. Otherwise, guys, I got to get the boat out, got to go pick the boys up from school. So you guys have a good day. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned, we'll have a new video coming out tomorrow.